All right, another Josh cast, which there's going to be the chafing sound because I'm using the wired earbud. Earbuds? Are they? Is it earbuds or AirPod? I know AirPods are the wireless ones, but when there's wires on it, is it just earbuds? I can't remember. I could look at the packaging that's, I think, 2 feet away from me, but that's too much effort! I'm really depressed today. Super depressed today. Because I feel helpless. I want to be a stand-up comedian. I guess technically I am a stand-up comedian, though I have not been on a stage doing stand-up really in a year. And I've been doing a lot of Zoom, and I don't know what to do to achieve my dream of being a touring comedian. And specifically, I want to be able to be a touring comedian who can make money on the road. Because I guess if I wanted to, I could hop in the car, drive and go do bar shows. But I would probably be spending more money than I was making, and that does not appeal to me. And then I have a voice in my head that says, well, does that mean you really love it enough? You should be willing to not even drive, to walk to every single gig with blood on your feet, bloody feet. You have to do it barefoot. You can't even use shoes. If you use shoes, then you don't love it enough. And only then will you truly be still broke. So I'm frustrated because I don't know what to do. Other than, I'm churning out all these videos, much to the delight of a dozen people. And I'm doing this podcast, which, maybe that's the other thing that was depressing to me, is that I'm envious of the people on social media who like to do the sketches and, stuff that's, for lack of a better term, actually funny. Like, I don't know, I just want to talk. I just want to talk to people and translate my neuroses into something that is hopefully enjoyable for them. But I don't feel like doing sketches per se. I would rather just I'd rather just have a conversation, He said going into a sketch. I'd rather just have a conversation with the audience. I'd rather just relate. I just want to relate. I just want to open up my heart and have the tears of my heart bleed out onto the audience, but in a funny way. Or maybe I'm too highfalutin. Maybe all of this is too highfalutin. I've gotten the second dose of the vaccine, and I didn't get sick at all, and I'm panicking. What if they didn't actually give me the vaccine? I was supposed to get sick on the second dose. I don't feel anything. I feel fine. Maybe I was maybe a little lethargic yesterday, but nothing that was noticeable. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Apparently, some people react to it, some people don't. Nobody knows what that means. I still don't know what the actual protection level is. Because as these new variants come along, a lot of scientists are saying we're going to need a booster shot anyway. Has anything really changed before or after the vaccine? Has there been a difference? Has anything changed? Or are we in the exact same place that we were before? So I'm depressed today because I'm depressed because I don't feel like I'm in control of anything. and I don't know what steps to take to get to what I want. The only thing that made sense is I heard something that Seinfeld said, which is just keep working. So I guess, it goes back to the 12-step program stuff, of which I've completed step 0.05. But this notion that I can, I have to accept what I can control and accept what I can't control. So all I can do is talk to you like this and share some thoughts. And, use this as a way to generate material that hopefully I'll be able to talk into a microphone one day. And that's about all I can control. And that's what I've got to be okay with. Which makes me feel even more depressed, frankly. Yes, I have allergies. It's not allergies. I never dust anything. That's why I am sniffling all the time, because my car is messy. There are cobwebs in my car. There are spiders that live in my car, and they seem to be thriving. An entire ecosystem in my car. Also going to try doing this as I'm walking. Because usually I only do it in the car because I don't know, I'm ashamed to podcast in public. I have a shame when it comes to public podcasting. It just feels very it's like the butt of all the jokes in LA. Everyone's got a podcast. So I feel like I'm just embodying the cliche of it. It's strange that I'm still this obsessed with what other people think. I mean, is there really any difference between what I'm doing right now and what everyone else is doing? Everyone else has all these crazy thoughts. I am just spewing them out onto the internet so that you can enjoy them. Because I feel like this insanity is something that needs to be shared. I'm going to blow my nose during this podcast. I know that's gross, but by the way, I work at an office and nobody has replaced the paper towel. I'm curious. I'm just kind of waiting to see if someone will finally, there's a giant roll of paper towel and it is sitting on top of the paper towel dispenser. And it has been like that for 3 days. And my boss probably put it there as a passive-aggressive way of asking somebody else to change out the paper towel dispenser. And thus far, no one has taken up the call. So this is the game that we all play in the office. How long will it take for somebody to take action? And I will tell you, 9 times out of 10, it sits there for a week, and then my boss is the one who ends up doing it. And I wonder why she's in a bad mood. But it is really kind of bizarre that happens. These are the social interactions that we deal with. I could do it. I could do it right now. But I'm not. The other nice thing about this, as I'm podcasting in public here, is it just looks to somebody else like I'm on the phone. It's just so sad that I am talking to myself. You know what? I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to the 2 to 3 people who listen to this. I think I might have lost the Spain listener. I'm not sure. I was checking the stats. It doesn't seem like there's as many downloads from the one person from Spain. I wonder if I alienated them because I always pointed them out. I appreciate having one Spain listener. That's a major milestone for me. Never thought I would achieve that. By the way, the crows in Burbank, I think the term is murder, right? There's a murder of crows in Burbank. These are big birds. And it feels like a mafia. I don't know, the way that they're always around and keeping an eye on things. I'm pretty sure they're money laundering. I think it's a major crime syndicate. That's what it feels like to me with these crows. And they make all different noises. They don't just caw, caw. They make these other strange noises that are, I don't know, it sounds like they're speaking in code. It sounds like they're saying the shipment's going to be there at 2 p.m. today. Now here's the question. Do I have the fortitude to keep talking while I go into the Starbucks to get my food? Or would I be too embarrassed to do it? We'll find out. Okay, here's... Thank you. Oh, I think we just found out the answer to that question. There we go. Hello.
Thank you.
All right, there's the answer. I'm too much of a coward. I can't do it while I'm inside the Starbucks. So here's the frustrating thing that just happened. I got caught behind two people who were walking too slowly. They're walking at their relaxed pace. Well, because your life is going so great, you can slow down and enjoy it. Some of us are podcasting here. Move it. So, all right, I got the Emperor's Cloud hot tea here. I've talked about this on previous podcasts. I will rehash it again in case there's a new listener from Spain. Emperor's Cloud is a pretty dramatic name for tea. Very dramatic name. Emperor's Cloud. Like that's a lot of expectations there. It's a good tea. I probably shouldn't be drinking it because the caffeine aggravates my overactive bladder. And that's where I'm at in my life. That's where I'm, I'm no longer young. I'm entering the realm of middle age. Middle age, where it's either constipation or I'm going to be dead in 6 months. One of those two. We're not sure. But I have my Emperor's Cloud hot tea. Tall, I ordered. Not grande. That's way too much tea, even for me. Got these egg bites. These, I don't know, loaves of egg. That's what I eat in the morning. And then the peanut butter and jelly protein pack. This is the same thing I've been eating every day for the past year. I don't like change. I don't like changing things up. I'm shocked. Like the fact that I'm doing this while walking, this is a huge change for me. I wonder if anyone will even be able to hear this. Well, we'll find out. But actually, the other nice thing about this, as I'm doing this, is that people, if I see someone who's somewhat familiar and they're looking at me, they're like, oh, he's just talking on the phone. And they, don't try to stop to talk. My God, I can use podcasting as a shield for having conversations. It's a conversational shield. This could be the greatest discovery I've made in the last 100 years. Back at the office right now, no one else is here yet. That's why I like to come in early, so I can podcast at my leisure. And now I can finally remove the mask. I still wear the mask. I double mask even when I'm in the car. No one else is in the car. There's probably no need for me to double mask while being in the car. But nevertheless, I double mask just in case somebody broke into the car while I was asleep and coughed all over the car. Just in case. You never know. You truly never know. But I am also probably going to pay for what I ate yesterday. I had a ham sandwich, which, as a Jew, I'm not supposed to have that. Now, here's the other question. Do I turn on my space heater right now, or do I complete the podcast without that extra noise? Even though the noise already, we're not recording this in a studio here. That's not happening. But, depression, that's where I'm at. Just this feeling of not knowing what to do. Because all I really want to do is stand up. And we're living in the one era where that we can't do stand-up. So and then I'm trying to give myself pep talks because I'm thinking, well, Mark Maron, when he started his podcast, that's, he, in a way, he was that was all he could do. Because I think he lost the radio gig, and he hadn't made it in the film and TV world. So here's the problem. I ordered the Starbucks stuff, but then it took me a half an hour to leave, and that's the depression. I should have left immediately after I ordered the Starbucks. I order it while I'm still home, and then that way it'll be ready when I go and get it. But because I waited that extra 20 minutes, now my tea is lukewarm as opposed to hot. And how am I supposed to start my day? Actually, the longer it steeps, the more the caffeine comes out, and it really affects my overactive bladder. So this is going to be the beginning of a terrible, terrible day. Probably. They're all terrible. Hopefully you come to this podcast for the depression, but you stay for the hopelessness. But we must persevere. So I keep doing the Zoom, and I keep doing what I can. But this lack of I feel like I'm not able to have control of my own destiny. But then again, did I ever have control of my own destiny? And maybe the reality is that life is a river, and we're thrown into it, and all we can do is kind of paddle to avoid certain rocks. And we have very limited control over where we can go within that river. But the river is leading to the same place, man. We're all going to the same place. We're all going to the same place. CVS. Sooner or later, everyone ends up at a CVS. It is the galactic ley line of the human race is a CVS. I'm pretty sure that's right outside heaven, there's a CVS. And even after you check in and you're in heaven and you're living in paradise, you're like, I still need cotton swabs. Why do I still need cotton swabs? I'm in heaven. So, covered a lot. We covered a lot. We talked about a lot. Those people walking slowly, God, that irritates me. Every single time. Can't you sense that there's someone behind you? You're a human being. You have a lizard brain that can sense danger. Can't you sense the neurotic Jewish man behind you who's trying to get past you? I feel better. I'm glad I released that into a podcast. I'm glad that you heard that.